Let's talk about something we all want more of: mental clarity. But what if the key to a sharper mind isn't some new supplement or life hack, but something much simpler? What if it's hiding right on your lunch plate? We're going to connect the dots between the food you eat and how sharp you feel.
You know those days, right? You're staring at a screen, you've read the same email 3 times, and your brain just feels stuck in mud. Kind of like it's running on old school dial-up in a 5G world. Trust me, if you felt that, you are definitely not alone.
Well, here's a thought that might surprise you. The secret to clearing that mental fog might not be in your coffee mug. More often than not, it's actually about what you had for lunch. Yeah, the link between your food and your focus is way more powerful than most of us think.
So, that brings us to our first big question here. Is your food itself making you foggy? We're going to dive into how our modern food world can sometimes be, well, a real minefield for our brains.
That foggy feeling, it's not just a personal problem. It's kind of become a modern epidemic. Think about it. Our diets are so often filled with super convenient, processed foods that, unfortunately, can end up draining our mental batteries and leaving us in this persistent state of brain fog.
And let's be clear, this is about so much more than just that classic afternoon slump. We're talking about the fundamental building blocks of your day-to-day life. Your ability to focus, your mood, your energy, and yeah, even protecting your memory for the long haul. The stakes are actually pretty high.
Okay, but here's the really good news. If food can be part of the problem, it can absolutely be the solution. So let's get to the fun part. Let's meet the heroes of this story, the brain-boosting foods.
First up on the team, let's talk about antioxidants. Seriously, the easiest way to think of them is as your brain's personal security detail. Their job is to hunt down and neutralize these little troublemakers called free radicals, which are just unstable molecules that cause damage and age your brain cells. So yeah, antioxidants are your absolute first line of defense.
So where do you find these bodyguards and all their friends? Well, here is your new go-to shopping list. You've got leafy greens like spinach, which are loaded with folate that helps protect your neurons. Then there are berries. They give you flavonoids, which are incredible for memory because they actually help your brain cells talk to each other better. Fatty fish like salmon, they deliver omega-3s, which are the literal building blocks for your brain. And of course, nuts and seeds give you vitamin E to keep those cell membranes strong and shielded from damage.
You know, when you boil it all down, it's really just a simple shift in how you think about eating. Every single meal is a chance to nourish the most powerful organ you have. You're not just filling your stomach, you're fueling your mind. All right, so knowing what to eat is one piece of the puzzle, but actually making it happen during a crazy, busy week, that's a whole different challenge. So let's get practical and talk about a simple system that makes it all work: the SMART meal plan.
I love this saying because it is just so true. That little bit of planning you do over the weekend completely changes the game. It saves you from that moment on Monday night when you're tired, you're hungry, and you reach for the easiest but probably not the best food choice. And here's the playbook. It's so simple, just 4 steps. First, just choose 2 or 3 brain-healthy recipes that you're actually excited to eat. That's it. Second, make a detailed shopping list from those recipes. Third, when you get to the store, be a robot. Stick to the list. No impulse buys. And fourth, this is the real game changer. Spend just 1 hour on Sunday prepping some of those ingredients. This one little step makes healthy eating during the week almost effortless. And the payoff for that tiny bit of planning is massive. Just look at this. You're not just making healthier choices. You're actively reducing your stress. You're literally buying back free time during the week, and you're even saving money. It's a total win-win-win for your brain and your entire life. Okay, let's bring this all home. Let's look at the real long-term payoff of making this shift. Welcome to Section 4, your brain's brighter future. When it comes down to it, you're really looking at a clear choice between 2 paths. On one side, you have the standard diet, which for many of us is a roller coaster of energy spikes and crashes with a side of brain fog. On the other, you have a smart, whole foods approach that gives you steady, sustained energy, consistent focus, and actually protects your brain for the future. The difference is, well, it's night and day. And look, this isn't just about how you feel day to day. The science here is powerful. Major studies on nutrition show that diets packed with these brain-boosting foods can be a huge factor in long-term cognitive health. Some research even points to a potential risk reduction for cognitive decline by as much as 70%. Just think about that number. That is life-changing. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. This is not about some crazy all or nothing diet. It's about the incredible power of small, consistent upgrades. Every smart choice you put on your plate is like an investment, building towards a stronger, sharper, more resilient brain, not just for today, but for all the years ahead.
Which leaves us with one final simple question. Don't worry about changing everything overnight. Just start somewhere. So, what's the one brain-boosting food? Maybe it's some berries with breakfast, maybe a handful of walnuts for a snack. What's the one thing you'll add to your plate this week?